World of Warcraft. Yeah, so I succumbed to temptation once again. I gave Daddy Blizzard my money, and now I'm playing Midnight. And the reason, the only reason I came back, is housing. Because in theory, it's this super cool login, build your little place feature. In reality, it's more like login, grind, unlock 20 years of content, and then, maybe, you're allowed to place a chair. So, yeah, let me talk about housing, what I thought I was buying, and what I actually got. So, housing in WoW is basically your own personal instanced house. You get a plot, you pick a theme, you get rooms you can upgrade, and then you decorate it with furniture, clutter, trophies, plants, stuff like that. And it's not just cosmetic either. It's tied to progression, some currencies, unlocks, and limits how much you can place. So, it's build a house, but it's also very World of Warcraft-ish. But the housing still seemed interesting to me, and I decided to dive in. But the catch is, I had to create a completely new account. I unlocked Void Elves, boosted a Demon Hunter to 80, and it's been like 4th day now where I've spent 3, maybe 4 hours a day just leveling. I rolled a Devourer, and honestly it's been great. It kind of feels like the Spellblade or Cosmic Assassin type, which I actually kind of like. But again, the reason I came back was the housing, not leveling. And for people who have been playing the game consistently, I guess it feels great. For me though, not so much. And that's where the problems start. First things first, as a new player, I have to unlock everything from scratch. And that includes old systems like Class Order Hole, Companion Draenor, and so on. Not only unlock them, but do some farm there as well. On top of that, reputations from every expansion, professions, some very old quests, resources that I don't even know what expansion they're from. Basically all this nonsense, and it doesn't feel good. It feels tedious. Like, if you want to have some cool little fountain item, you need to go and do some random quests in Cataclysm. You want a bit of a round-down fence? Well, go to Duskwood and do some quests. The bright side is, usually those are pretty fast, but you still have to fly all around Azeroth, and without tools like WoW had, it's just impossible to find all of this. Maybe this part is less problematic than some other systems, because it encourages you to explore the world. However, housing is kind of like transmog in a way. You're better off finding some pre-made sets on Wowhead and just modify it to your liking, instead of going through every item in the collection. There's a lot of items and it's a nightmare to preview them all. Then you need to find who sells them, where, what you need to unlock, and you will be lucky if the only thing you need to do is just a small, low-level quest chain. And then there's the other part, which is like, okay, say I want 10 trees in my yard. First I have to unlock the tree. Fine. If I unlock the tree, I should be able to place as many trees as I like. But no. If you want to place 10 trees, you buy 10 trees. Thank God it's bought with gold and not another microtransaction, but let's be real, that's probably temporary. And I'm not here going out of my way to sell some carries or whatever. I'm also not trying to spend my life doing professions, gathering herbs for hours and hours. I know I'm sort of a 2 wives, 10 kids, 3 jobs guy. Now, jokes aside, technically I do have free time to play the game and farm gold, but that's not how I want to spend it. And then the housing has levels too, because of course it does. It's another system. And I get why it exists. You want to have some progression, fine. Well, levels limit how much stuff you can place, they unlock room variants, upgrades, all that. In general, I understand the design logic. But the problem is what it turns into. Levels are basically a gate. You hit a cap, you try to build, the game goes, nope, level your house. And leveling your house means currencies, gold, and a bunch of extra chores that have nothing to do with building. So instead of log in and decorate, it becomes log in and maintain. Do the dailies, do the weeklies, farm this, kill that. Because if you don't, you're not progressing your housing levels and you're stuck staring at the placement limit and not being able to choose some options. And that's the part that annoys me. I'm past raiding and competitive PvP. I don't want another treadmill. I just want to build a nice house for my character, maybe go out and grab a specific item once in a while, and then go back to decorating. And you have to keep in mind, I understand how the game works. I'm not confused. This isn't me being new. I've done these grinds before. I'm just saying it's insane that something as chill as housing still gets turned into a system you have to constantly keep up with. Another problem that might be big for some, small for others, is restrictions. World of Warcraft has this long ancient Horde versus Alliance thing, or Horde and Alliance restrictions in general. But at this point, lore limitations are basically done. Now, one of such examples is White Elves. So, White Elves, unlike Illyria, which is kind of a special case, have that blue skin tone. Yet, when you create a character, you can make a White Elf with the skin tone of a Blood Elf. Lore-wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and yet, personally, I don't care. 10 years ago, I would probably be a bit mad about it. At this point, though, we have scalies, furries, all sorts of things that, at a first glance, are very hard to associate with Warcraft. The lore train has left the station. It doesn't matter anymore, and the Blizzard just gives players almost unrestricted customization, and that's good. And I'm bringing all that up because in housing, what do you get? You get 2 themes for each faction. Now, housing just came out, I get it. There isn't a lot yet. So, for Alliance, you get the standard human stuff and nature night elf, and for Horde, you get the brute orc stuff and the elegant blood elf style. I'm kind of okay with that. But at the same time, I'm also sitting there thinking, why are we still pretending the separation matters at all? What I had in mind when going into the building system was something arcane, elegant, columns here and there, some magical curtains, maybe even some Scarlet Crusade vibes on top of it, something dark, and yet light? Not sure. But the rural cottage thing, or the heavy nature-driven night elf style on Alliance, doesn't really work for me. I can always ignore it and do the interior the way I like it, sure. But man, the dissonance is real. It's like trying to build a hobbit hole on the outside and then inside it's a giant gothic cathedral. So what housing could be? I'm thinking about games like Minecraft. Yeah, you still have to gather stuff, you still have to unlock things, but whole point is that most of your time goes into planning, placing, changing, that kind of thing. The main activity is the creative part. You spend time building. Now, WoW obviously is Minecraft, but if you're adding housing, the focus should still be let me build. Because right now, it feels like I spend more time trying to access the building part than actually building. I just wish the system was designed so that building is the main event and not the reward after you've done all other things in the game. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it, and I guess that brings me to the conclusion. I have to say, in general, I do like the housing system. With all of its problems now, knowing Blizzard, in 30 years we will get something that is going to be better than this. For now, I'll probably keep playing until my 30 days of subscription run out, but once that sub ends, I'm probably not renewing it. There's no real point for me. And yet, maybe if the game actually gave me the kind of freedom a system like this needs in 2K26, maybe I would renew. Who knows? You can always say that it is a progression system, that you need to earn things and get satisfaction from unlocking all of this, but at the end of the day, I don't want to spend all my days playing the game. I'm playing it in my free time because I want to relax. And yet, the game somehow feels more like a job than it did back in Res. I'm less tired at my actual job than I am after playing World of Warcraft, which is honestly insane, but that's just how it is. So, yeah, that's my 5 minutes of rambling, or 10, or however long it actually was. If you have something to say about it, well, you can write it in the comments. And for now, see you sometime. Bye bye.